Today, I want to touch about the matter of royal pardon. Okay, what people need to know, and what maybe the kings already know about royal pardon, but somehow some politicians don't understand about royal pardon. Okay, now what is royal pardon about? Royal pardon is a pardoning of a crime where the accused is convicted, who has done wrong, and the king uses the power under the constitution at his own discretion to forgive, either in full, in part, and it is the final bastion and overriding constitutional provision that can undo the decision of the highest level of the court. This is there. Okay, whether it is rightfully there or not, that is not the matter. It is there, it can be done in law. Now, what is the rationale of all this pardoning? There are basically two broad categories. Number one is that a person is pardoned because that person has served time, has endured the punishment, regrets his actions, and shows remorse, and have attempted to redeem himself or herself, and also in consideration of his past contribution. He or she did many good things before, and therefore he is treated special, lebih belas kasihan for the error or mistake that this person did. More so, this person is regretful, remorseful of his actions, do not intend to repeat, has repented, and profusely apologized. That is one broad category, and only that would satisfy even consideration thereof. Even then, it may not even be full pardoning. That's one. Number two, the accused does not apologize. The accused maintain his or her innocence, and because of a failure of the judiciary, that person is convicted and suffered unfair persecution, unfair punishment, and he endured the pain when he's actually innocent, and the king, the Agong, that grants the royal pardon, is convinced and believes that that person has been wrongly convicted, wrongly punished, and is actually innocent and a victim of capricious, failed justice system. Those are the two broad categories people must understand. Now, on the second category, the person maintains that he or she is innocent, and the person that's granting the royal pardon must believe that that person is innocent, and therefore no apology is required, no remorse is required, no repentance is required. The person that's expecting the royal pardon should only ask for mercy, but it is not, they don't have to show that they have regretted and they will not repeat such an error, such a mistake or whatever, because it is not even a mistake. So either a failed judiciary ataupun correct punya judicial decision, but that person has had past contributions, that person has shown remorse, regret, repentance, apologize, and seek to redeem himself even. So two broad categories. Now, in the case of Anwar, who has got royal pardon, which category it is? I tak payah sebut. Orang yang nak percaya apa, percayalah. Ada yang benci Anwar, ada yang suka Anwar, ada yang objektif, call a spade a spade. So we all see how the proceedings went on, how suspicious the proceedings were. To some people it's okay. Jadi I have my own belief, and as far as Anwar is concerned, his narrative is that he's not guilty. He did not commit whatever he was alleged. Dia difitnah, and the court was abused, and judges were also corrupt, and therefore he was persecuted and endured several years in jail. He was tortured. So his story will come out in this upcoming movie pun. You can see to understand more. Again, up to each individual to believe or not believe that story, and to have their own narrative if they want to whatever they believe. But fact is, Anwar's position is that he is innocent. He's not guilty. That's what he submits, and that's what he maintains until today. And the Agong at that time also subscribes to the same thing, because it was gross injustice, travesty of justice as far as Agong is concerned, and therefore royal pardon is used because it is available to the Agong to undo that injustice, or rather to mitigate, and royal pardon was granted to Anwar to stop the ongoing suffering that he had to endure due to the malice and the evils of his political rivals. So that is the narrative. Now we are confronted with another situation where an ex-prime minister who is convicted by 9 judges, and thereafter 4 judges further affirmed that all proceedings were fine, 1 dissenting judge, and the paper trail shows that he is guilty as charged. There is no other narrative. Even at the federal court, there was no other narrative other than they are asserting that the court is corrupt, that Justice Nazlan is conflicted, and there is accusations hurled at the court, tainting the court, and it is a perceived attack on the judiciary. So on that, Najib's submission also, he is innocent and he is politically persecuted, and the courts are abused and the judiciary is abused, and therefore he's also taking the same stand like Anwar did, that he's innocent, and therefore royal pardon is warranted if the Agong believes his story, and Agong also want to undo or rather mitigate the injustice Najib is facing. Now, is that the case for Najib? Is that the category that Najib wants to go as far as royal pardon is concerned? Or does Najib want to say, okay, look, I accept the verdict, I am guilty as charged, I did take money, and I regret, but I was a prime minister, my father was a prime minister, we had a lot of contribution to the country, we ruled the country, and these are my achievement. I regret, I'm not going to do that anymore. Whatever monies I have, I'm going to bring back, I'm going to give back the money, I want to redeem myself. I'm so sorry, I regret what I do, I feel remorseful, and I've repented, and therefore, Agong, can you grant me a royal pardon so that I can start a fresh slate? That is another category. Is Najib going on that trajectory? I don't trace that for now. Najib is not going on that narrative. His narrative appears to be like the first category, the category I mentioned, which is Anwar punya situation where Anwar maintains he is innocent and he is not a sodomite. Okay, notwithstanding whatever the court ruled, he maintains that it was a travesty of justice. Najib appears to be going on that basis. Therefore, the key difference now is whether does the Agong buy the story. Agong percaya ke Najib is innocent? Because Agong dulu yang bagi Anwar royal pardon, dia percaya Anwar is innocent. Dia percaya semua ni fitnah. And and the nature of Anwar punya alleged crime, kalau betul lah Anwar innocent pun, guilty pun, dia antara dia dengan seorang. Dia tak ambil duit siapa-siapa, dia tak affect rakyat. Najib, whatever he's accused, okay, betul tak betul, the accusation or the conviction is for menyakau duit rakyat to the tune of billions. Bukan dia saja, the whole family. And the abuse of power and benda ni bukan untuk dimaafkan oleh satu orang saja, one victim. Victim dia the whole country. Victim dia is the country punya future generations. Victim dia is the unborn kids who will have to bear and pay back all the loot and the financial carnage by this person. Jadi Agong untuk forgive dia, bagi dia royal pardon, Agong sepatutnya also percaya yang dia innocent, because dia going on that category. Jadi UMNO punya narrative is that kesian Najib, kesian pasal ni. Kesian apa when that person is not even, tak mengaku pun dia salah. That person kata dia dianiayai. So mana satu ni? Dia dianiayai, dia difitnah, ataupun dia dah taubat dan dia nak seek amends and dia nak minta maaf, dan dia ada contribution sebelum ni banyak pun that far outweighs apa yang dia dah buat damage to the country. Apa dia dah buat for the country is greater than what damage dia cause the country. Mana satu? Jadi the point that I'm trying to make is that bila Najib punya camp nak minta royal pardon, they have to be clear which one Najib alleges ni. Kalau Najib punya based on what it is, dia kata judiciary is corrupt, tak betul, this, if I'm the Agong, I take exception, because I appointed the Chief Justice, I empowered all the judge, and therefore are you saying that I condone a travesty of justice? And kalau aku bagi royal pardon, means I'm saying that the palace of justice have failed, and therefore did not give Najib a fair trial, and an innocent man has now gone to jail. Maknanya bukan saja at the federal level, Maimun punya level, which Rahman Sebli says is not fair. Maknanya even the Court of Appeal tak betul, Nazlan pun tak betul. Now what does the Agong believe? Has it been proven that Nazlan is conflicted and impartial in delivering the guilty verdict of Najib? Has it been proven? Right now, whatever the verdict of Nazlan is there, and you can access that. Any lawyer, any judge in the world can go through that to see if there's any flaw in the finding, notwithstanding sama ada dia conflicted ke tak. So therefore, how solid is that? How watertight is Nazlan punya finding? Okay, sama macam High Court punya finding on Anwar punya sodomy charge. How watertight is that? That can be seen. And therefore, at the end of the day, ultimately, it is for the king, the Agong, to decide whether dia percaya ke tak yang Najib ni is dianiayai. Okay, Agong dulu percaya tak Anwar ni dianiayai? Failure of the judiciary. So, kalau dia percaya Najib dianiayai, maknanya dia kena acknowledge yang the judiciary has failed. And therefore, kalau dia bagi Najib royal pardon, dia sepatutnya remove Tengku Maimun, because sekarang ni the only dissenting judgment mengatakan Tengku Maimun punya bench did not give Najib justice. Itu yang masalah. Rahman Sebli tak kata Court of Appeal salah, dia tak kata High Court salah, there's no mention about that. Dia kata the federal court was wrong not to give extension of time and not to allow new evidence, and not to allow Hisham Potek to discharge himself, and therefore Najib was unrepresented, and Najib paid the price due to the oversight or the mistakes of dia punya lawyers. That's in a nutshell what Rahman Sebli says. Okay, so and Tengku Maimun was on that bench for doing benda yang Rahman Sebli kata tak betul itu. Jadi Agong must take a position. Your position is what? Are you together with the Chief Justice? Do you agree on the narrative and the delivery and the verdicts of the Chief Justice and all the 9 judges on Najib's guilty verdict on all 7 counts, ataupun you feel that semua tu salah, tak adil, and Najib dianiayai, and therefore you grant Najib royal pardon. You need to decide. Agong kena decide. Kalau Agong decide Najib gets royal pardon, maknanya all those judges patut dismiss, because they are still, as of today, still presiding on cases. Jadi Agong bubuh benda orang salah because they do the wrong things. Agong kena make decision. Choose the Chief Justice and the panel of judges, ataupun choose Najib's story. Mana satu? Because that is the broad category that Najib is going on. Najib bukan kata dia remorseful over apa dia buat. Jadi these people must understand, everybody must understand, the context got to be right. Decide firstly what broad category you're looking at, and if you say you are dianiayai, maknanya the judiciary system is capricious, and that judiciary punya setup is appointed by Yang di-Pertuan Agong himself, the one that is supposed to be granting your royal pardon. Jadi Agong will have to make a choice, and whatever the choice Agong make will go down in history and will be seen by lawyers and the legal fraternity around the world and for many generations. Therefore, the implication to Agong and the Council of Rulers is not just about this one royal pardon saja. Tada, it's how they're going to be perceived and branded, and whether they will continue to be revered by the rakyat or they will be damned by the rakyat and future generation, and how they will be written in history. What will their significance be to the country? Because let's face it, the country is still laden with debts. People don't have enough food to eat. People don't have jobs. Business are collapsing. Rakyat ramai susah. Bantuan is coming from here and there. These are all to undo or to mitigate the financial carnage of Najib and his co-thieves on the country, on the entire nation. We are still facing that. So therefore, with a royal pardon, if it's not befitting, tak sepatutnya diberi to the biggest kleptocrat, and he walks free, while other people yang curi tin susu untuk anak, curi ubat, curi pakaian, still stays in jail. Orang yang curi lebih banyak lepas, and he continues enjoying his opulent lifestyle. Okay, handbag bini dia, diamond ring, pink diamond ring, semua still ada, and people continue to suffer. How will that augur to the rakyat, to the world? How will that appear? These are all the considerations that the Pardons Board, including our PM and the Agong and the council rulers, will have to consider and contemplate, because this dosa is to the entire nation and future generations, and it will be felt for decades to come. And granting a royal pardon at this juncture, on what premise? Notwithstanding the other cases that are still ongoing. So jadi I would imagine a sensible king and a sensible Pardons Board would see this as a non-starter. Much ado about nothing. Tapi we never know. I'm open to any surprises, but I've already said it in my earlier voice notes. If this government allows the pardon to go through, it will be perceived as the foremost betrayal to the rakyat. The rakyat will punish, and that will be the end of the political career of the government, PMX included. That's it. No other reforms or pacification will work, will appease the rakyat, because it will be the foremost betrayal and a failure of our system of justice. It will be the anti-reform of all sorts, and therefore it negates and forsakes our motivation to even have a change of government to have a bapa reformist to lead the country kalau we end up manifesting the worst kakistocratic governance. This is what I would call it kalau a crook like Najib can walk free. Assalamualaikum.